Welcome to Homesteading Dime at a Time. I'm Greg, Bertie's behind the camera. Today we're going to talk about bees. Hopefully I don't butcher it and stumble a lot.
Okay.
This is our bee yard.
Part of the bee yard.
Okay, just wait a minute. I'm going to go inside so I can show you. This is our first hive that we've got, and she's been a good strong hive. We've had it now. This is the third summer we've had this hive, and it's a really strong hive. We've had no issues with this hive, and this hive here, it was a split from last year from this hive to this hive, and it took really good. This is also a strong hive, not as strong as that one.
Yeah, with this hive here, how we split it was we moved over brood, we moved over honey frames, and we dropped in
a bunch of bees.
And
just let her go.
Yeah, and we let her go.
Good.
We didn't actually add any queens to this hive. We let them produce their own queen, and they were rocking it.
They're busy buzzing.
We're not actually going to go into the hives. It's a cloudy day.
Yeah,
we're expecting rain, so we're not really going to go into the hives.
And that one's mad at me because I took 2 splits out of this one this year. So
yeah, we did. We did 2. That hive there was split in our second summer last year into this hive.
And this year we split this hive.
Yeah.
We took and put it in.
Actually, this year, we split those both hives this year. And we put those in to these hives. Well, actually, last year, these 2 hives actually came on the property, this one and this one, as nooks. And then this, we'll tell you a little bit about that right now.
So last year, we took our hive number 1, that's the white and brown hive, and we split it into the blue boxes. And these 2 here last year were 2 nooks that we had. They started off strong. They were strong all summer. They were strong all winter. Then we hit a cold snap last year, and yeah, they both got stressed out. What did you call that again?
Nosema.
Yeah, okay. So remember that?
It was not just a cold snap. The whole month of February, 99% of the whole month of February was below -25, and it's a little better to say that most of the month was around -30. It was that cold. And while the bees did have food, these 2 nooks didn't make it. Where our original hive and the split we did off the original hive, they both made it. They were both covered the same. Everything was the same. So, you know, we just figured these guys got stressed out, ate their honey down, because the hives were completely empty of honey for the most part. And all we saw was bee poo, and lots of it.
Yeah, and were just covered.
It struck that it looked a lot like Nosema. So we cleaned out the boxes, and we just put new bees in there.
Yeah, we took this one. We took the bees from. We took a split from the, I guess, hive 2, and we put it into here, into this one. That one, we took it from our first hive. I put a split into this one, and it was doing really good until Mr. Max, or one Charlotte, decided to get in here, and it was a cold day. What was it? It was just in the minuses.
Yeah.
So just around freezing.
Ace?
I'm just moving the bottom here. It's way off.
It's early spring, and just in case you're wondering, We do just put the honey supers on when we're ready to go in the spring. Gives them a chance to get the honey supers ready. We don't really expect honey first thing in the spring. It's just, why not just put them on? It's not going to do any harm. Do you hear anything?
Oh yeah, lots of humming.
Okay, lift it up. Let's see if we can hear the hum.
See, I got bees crawling around in there.
I can't see anything. But there's pollen in there right now, and there's sugar. That would be all the white. We're gonna just talk about the entrances and what made us think they're nosema. So if you can come out here, Greg. This is one of the covers that goes on the bees in the late fall. And we were looking at some of the poo drops here and here and some of that. Some is normal poop, and I think this is nosema. I could be wrong. But that's what I think it is. And for those people wondering,
Yeah, it was all down here, but it's all cleaned off now. But it was all the way down.
we should have actually filmed this right away because, as Greg was saying, what were you saying? That
this was all down here. It's all came off, but I got it all in here too.
yeah, it was all over the place. It's where it went is beyond me. But anyway, it was all over the place. And yeah, we treat for mites, so it's not a mite problem. The bees don't have mites. We're actually quite lucky. So we figured that it was nosema that knocked out both the hives. I mean, if it was anything, all the hives, all 4 hives, so that's these 2 and these 2 hives, they were all treated the same. They were packed up for winter the same. They were all fed at the same time. And only these 2 didn't make it. And those were our 2 nooks that we brought in last year.
And going into fall, they were extremely strong hives. They had lots of honey. They had lots of everything. And why they this and don't know why they died out. But
yeah. So here we are. So like Greg said, we just did 2 splits off of our our original hive and our original split. Didn't put any queens in. We let them make their own queens. That's just what we prefer to do. And the hive in the back, because we had to split it, we split it the first time, the cow killed it, so we split it the second time, so it's a little bit behind the other hives, but we have been watching it closely and it is picking up day to day, so that's really good. Yeah. Is there anything else you want to add?
no, that's about it. As you can tell, I cleaned up my bee yard to give it a little bit more sun in there to...
Oh, sun, that's a good thing that you mentioned that.
Yeah, we were noticing, actually Bertie noticed it. We cleaned up the bee yard this spring because Bertie noticed that these hives weren't getting any sun until the afternoon.
Yeah.
So we had some trees here I took out, and then I just scraped it to level out because it's really rough in here. Next year, we want to put, if we split these hives, the new hives are going to go along in here. I got to do some more cleaning up in here because I want to put my new hives, because these are going to get split and those are going to get resplit next year.
Okay, so these are the 2 splits we did this year. So going forward, all of the splits from the hives you just saw will be going into here. And then you can just see the blue box back over there. We'll just walk over real quick. So we're going to keep the splits separate. We're not going to... This year was a bit of a nightmare. I'm just going to walk right to here. We took splits from those and had to walk them all the way over here. It was a nightmare. So next year, those 2 will be split and the new hives will be just in front somewhere. And again, when we split these hives, the new hives will just be in the front somewhere. So all the splits will stay with their parent colonies starting next year if we can get them through the winter.
If you guys are wondering why our honey supers are not as big as our brood boxes, we're going with comb honey, and it's just easier to handle mediums than it is deeps. Because when these things are full of honey, they almost weigh 100 pounds, and a medium only weighs about 65 to 70 pounds when it's full of honey. So I'm kind of older and I don't like doing a lot of physical work, so the lighter ones are the ones I'm going for.
Just to be clear here, Greg is old, I'm not. Okay, so yeah, we're just going to be clear on that one. Actually, we're doing comb honey, so cut honey. We've got a comb cutter, and a comb cutter works really well on these small ones.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it works out almost perfect. So
Yeah. So that's, and we'll eventually put another honey super on top.
yeah.
We just started out with one. We just want to start them getting ready. These two, we don't know if they're going to produce anything this year. We're not holding out hopes, but we put the supers on anyway.
So for us, whatever is in the blue boxes or the bottom two boxes is theirs. Anything above that is ours.
Yeah, that's the way we
So
work it.
their stores stay in there. Then when it comes fall, they'll get food, extra food, just so they can make it through the winter easily. Then hopefully they'll make it through winter. So
Yeah, we just feed them so that they have extra stores so they don't have to go through their honey right away.
just to let you know about my hive covers, this is 2-inch styrofoam. I cut it a half an inch. I made it a half an inch bigger than the hive boxes. And on the bottom, some of you can see the bottom layer of styrofoam. I just leave it on there because there's no point of taking it off, because then I got to move the hives every time. So this just slides over top. I have another big a styrofoam lid that goes on top. This is also cut this much higher
Wait. Okay.
than the actual frames. And so when I put this on, I have room to put my sugar, the fondant, everything on there. Then I can put the top on, which is sealed. Then they're good to go. I find this is easier than a wrap, because all I have to do is in fall is take the lid off, drop this on, make sure it sits down tight, put my lid on it, put my guard in front. It's just a screen, just so they still can get air, but mice and stuff can't get in. And then it's good. Put the lid on and it's good for winter.
So that's the top vent hole, and there should be another vent hole somewhere, eh?
Yeah, then you have a
Oh yeah,
hole
okay,
here.
there we go. Couldn't see it on the ground. And there's the bottom entry hole. So they got the vent on top and the bottom entry hole to get in and out.
Yeah, and also helps them to pull in fresh air. This one's cut in here, and during winter time, there's actually ice on here, so they actually can get rid of their moisture.
Yeah.
So all you have to do is just cut this. I was told by the guy who was doing this, it just has to be a half by half hole, so bees can get out. But that way they'll, on the inside they'll lay there and they'll fan air out, and then it just ice just hangs down. On this one, the styrofoam's in here to protect the bottom of the hive, and the enclosure goes around here. Then I just seal it off, and it sits tight all the way around, and it just helps. It works really good. The other two have a full chunk of styrofoam that sits all the way around because it sits on a flat base. But this just keeps them just as warm. And the guys are bringing in pollen.
Nice. Just to yeah, our cow got in here multiple times. It's just a note for little homesteads. Pick your cows carefully that you want on your homesteads, because we had a Charlet and he could walk through any fence. Our Charlet is huge. We've got farmers around here that are amazed at how big our Charlet steer is. And he can literally just walk through anything. Barbed wire, no matter what it is, he's just going to walk through it. So he actually was a little bit too big for our homestead. And from now on, I think we'll stick with Angus and Jersey and, go that way.
Like, don't get me wrong, Max is a sweetheart, and he still is. But he's just so big, he's driven by his stomach and he sees green grass on the other side, he's just going to walk to it.
Yeah. Live and learn. We were lucky for 2 years, and by our 3rd year, we just hit a bit of a snag.
Until next time, just remember, if you got chores to do,
Just give her, eh?
And remember, stay safe.
Big time, stay safe. Cheers, guys, and thank you to everybody.
Have a good one.
Hey, baby. He was spying on us, so I thought I would just give him a scratch. And then the suspicious one over there. Oh great, she's got twine in her mouth. Do you know how to catch her? And the rodeo is on. This one's Cassie's little girl. Jamie knows something's up. Oh, it's gone, eh? Oh, shoot. Okay, I'm coming.